Now, we all want to have tons of lag. You see basically every single pro golfer out there with this crazy angle of lag and then hitting it with tons of speed, tons of forward shaft lean coming through contact. How in the heck do they do that? And why are my hands marked up like this? Well, a lot of times in the golf swing, we're talking about what's happening with the club, but we're not talking about what you actually feel. And in this video, I'm going to talk about exactly what you need to feel in your hands to create lag. The red is the bad things that you don't want to feel. The green is the good things. I'm going to walk you through it step by step so that you know for sure how to create lag once and for all. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start with the right hand. Now you'll notice there's two red markers on there, this right thumb and my right index finger. And if I'm looking at where I grip this club, you'll notice that the red markings are farthest away from the butt end of the club. And when I swing, it's very easy to lose this lag pushing on the end or this side of the grip here. So as soon as I start my downswing, what feels natural, and the reason that you're probably losing lag right now, is that as soon as I start down, if I push with my right thumb and right index finger, that feels like I'm doing a lot. I'm moving this club a lot. It feels like it's very powerful. But in reality, when I look at it from the down the line view, as I push with this right index finger, that's what starts to kick this club a little bit steep. So if you're a little bit steep, that's where you're actually putting pressure into the club, too much pressure into the club too early. Also with this right thumb, as I start to push away from the target, that kicks the club out. And again, it feels like I'm doing tons and tons of effort. It feels like I'm putting a lot of power into the club, but all I'm really doing is losing club head speed. I'm burning up that club head speed too early. So the right index finger and this right thumb, I want to feel like they're completely passive as I start my downswing. Now the second piece, this yellow here in the middle of my right hand, my right middle finger, that one I want to use sparingly. If you're going to feel some pressure in your right hand, and as you're right-handed you're probably going to, I want to feel it mostly in these middle two fingers, my middle finger and my ring finger there. But I even want to use the right middle finger sparingly. So that's not on this side of the club. See, if I really can't push this club, my hand is on it this way, I can't push this club out with that middle finger. It's only this index finger and the thumb that can push that club out. So if I'm casting it, there's no way to cast this club unless it's coming from one of these two red fingers. The middle finger, I want to use sparingly though. What I should feel is this ring finger in the right hand. I want to feel like as I go to the top of the swing, it's almost dragging this club out this way. So I almost feel like I'm taking my middle finger and dragging it across the grip like this, and that pulls it out to give me a lot of width. Now when I do that, that's going to allow me to create some lag. I feel like I'm going this way. As my body opens, my club is moving that way, and I have this big sharp angle. I feel most of the sensation, again, from that green finger just dragging the club out. Now once I get about halfway down, that's when the real magic happens. That's when these left three fingers really kick in, and this is what creates a ton of club head speed. So as I start my downswing now, I've got all this lag built up, but it doesn't do me any good if I just hold on to it all the way through contact. I'm not going to get that whip of speed at the bottom. The speed comes from taking this grip when it's kind of parallel to the ground here. And you can imagine when my club is parallel to the ground, my hands are already in front of my right leg. The club head's way back here. Now what I want to do is I want to take this grip, or where my bottom three fingers are there on the grip, I want to take that club that's now parallel with the ground, and I want to make it vertical with the ground as quickly as possible. And what that's going to do is that's going to kick this club and push it forward, or pull it forward if you want to call it that, whip it forward 90 degrees. And it's going to happen in a very short period of time. It's going to happen from when my hands are in front of my right leg here to when my hands are in front of my left leg. It's going to be vertical. And it's those bottom three fingers that are making that happen. I want to feel like I'm taking this grip and I'm almost popping the end of this grip off. If this shaft was any weaker, if it wasn't as strong as it is, the steel wasn't as strong, I would feel like I just snap that off. Like I'm going to take this grip and just pop it, and the grip is going to snap into two pieces. That pressure is coming from these bottom three fingers turning back up. So if you imagine I have a golf club or a fishing pole in my left hand, I have these 3 fingers now. When I pull down, that's gonna whip that forward. That's gonna cast this club, and casting is good as long as it's at the bottom of the swing. So to recap, the big points here, the red fingers are the only ones that can cast and cause you to lose lag here. I want to use this pinky finger to drag it across the club, and then from there, once I get this lag, it does me no good unless I get rid of it. I got to take those bottom 3 fingers and let that really rip off the club. Let me go ahead and hit one, and I got one more piece that's incredibly important to making all this happen. There we go. That is absolutely as good as I can hit an iron shot, dead straight as a bullet. Really, really nice. Now, if I want to create speed, if I want this to happen, I can have tons of lag and still not get the club head speed that I deserve. The club head speed comes from 2 pieces. Number 1, loading my body correctly, and then number 2, getting the lag and the whip of the club correctly through contact. Now, there's a couple secrets that most people don't know about loading up properly and really feeling like you're getting the most potential power from the least amount of effort. Now, I call that the power turn in the Top Speed Golf system, and I'm going to share you some of the absolute secrets to getting the best turn you can. If you've struggled, if you feel like the turn is hard, you're going to want to watch this because I can make the turn easy for you. I'm going to play a preview of that video here in just 1 second. All you need to do is click the card that pops up somewhere on your screen. That's going to give you instant access. You're going to be able to get instant access to that video, and I'm going to share a couple things with you you don't want to miss on creating that turn. Once you create the turn and you add the lag and release to it, you're going to hit it pretty daggone good. So I can't wait to share it with you. Let's go ahead and get started. Most of the instruction out there today is killing you of your power. The things that they're telling you to do can make you hit it shorter, and worse than that, not even any more consistent. I'm going to go over some of the real secrets to powerful, consistent golf in this video. Let's go and get started. So here's some of the keys into making that happen. If you want to incorporate this in your swing, let me break it down exactly what you should do. Number 1, let's focus on the belt buckle. This is another big misconception. I want to keep that belt buckle facing the ball so I can really stretch out my midsection and really get loaded up. I'm not a big fan of that. That's really going to kill your distance. In your backswing, I want to feel like that belt buckle rotates to the right and you really let your hips and legs be loose. Notice how my legs are moving here. I'm not trying to keep those rigid and tight, or I'm really just taking all the speed out of my swing. All right, so on that one, I really felt like I let my belt buckle rotate back. And a good key to this is feel like your knees are loose. Feel like when you make your backswing. Piece number 2, let's go ahead and rotate our shoulders. When I let my lower body rotate, my upper body can rotate a lot better also. So if I let my hips move, my shoulders will move more. So here, once I've got my hips working well, I'm going to add to that my shoulders making a big rotation. On average, on the PGA Tour, players are getting about 120 degrees of shoulder rotation. I don't see hardly anybody getting less than 90 degrees. So it starts with the hips, knees nice and loose, allow the belt buckle to rotate, and then from there, so those are 2 really big keys. But here's the truth. There's one thing, and if you don't do this correctly, nothing else is going to work.